Good morning, everyone. Goodness me, what an end to the week. I actually didn't take you with me for the Glamour Women of the Year Awards because I took so long to get ready. I only just managed to film it for Instagram and TikTok, and I also felt like that kind of content was better suited there. We're a little bit more homey here, aren't we? I'm trying to sort out my hair. I'm actually going to show you, because someone asked me a question on Instagram about how I preserve like the waves of my hair overnight so that I don't have to straighten my hair every day. We'll get into that. But yes, I went to the Glamour Women of the Year Awards. It was so wonderful to have been invited. I'm so honoured to have been invited. And it was my first time attending under the new sort of like person who's heading up the UK. It was such a different event from the year before when Deborah was at the helm. And it's always so lovely to see like a fresh perspective as well. As with all these things, there are like eras at magazines and things like that, and so it was a raucous affair. That's what it was. But I got to wear the most incredible Oscar de la Renta gown, bag and earrings. The earrings obviously were purchased for me by my husband for a little celebratory gift, but I'll pop in maybe a little video or a picture. But if you want to see the full get ready, well, not full get ready, but like the outfit get ready, I'll link it in the description box down below. I got back at 2 in the morning. It was nuts. I was absolutely hating myself the next day because I was just like, no, why would you do that to yourself, Lydia? You love to go to bed. But no, it was really, really good. And one of the things that I also noticed in some of the questions that I was getting was what work have you had done? And I appreciate I'm probably looking a bit different nowadays. I obviously got myself a fringe and I think it's had a big impact. And now I'm seeing this pop up a lot, like, what have you had done? Why do you look so different? Blah, 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 blah. And so I just thought I'd get it out of the way here because I actually haven't been to see Ayad. I think I'm going in like next week or the week after, I don't know. But I haven't been to see him for a while. And so definitely we've got a little bit, like the Botox has worn off. You know that I'm like on this like flip-flop between Botox at the moment where I'm like, maybe I just like, maybe I don't need it for just at the moment, or maybe I don't need it quite so often, or maybe it's just one of those things that you have like every now and then. I don't know. I don't know. But that could be why you're looking at me going, Lydia, why do you look different? Because I actually have a little bit more movement. I mean, it's not all back, but it is some of it. And I use Botox to correct a few things as well. So first of all, I have Botox in my jaw. It is a cosmetic thing, usually. I had it because of my headaches and it took the edge off. It didn't cure it, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't cure it for me, but I think that my headaches are a bit of an enigma in their own right. Like, nobody can figure out what is going on with my headaches. I had gua sha yesterday as well, so you know that always takes the edge off as well. Gua sha is where they like release the stagnant blood, and honestly it's so weird. It gives me like DOMS. I feel like I've had like the hardest workout whenever I have it done. It is the most bizarre sensation. If you've ever had it, you'll know what I'm talking about, especially if you have like a big reaction. I'll pop in a picture of my reaction this time. You'll know over the years, usually there's a lot of build up in there and I have a really big sort of pull out. This time it was actually not so bad. I feel like that's progress. And I'd say that my headaches haven't been as bad, but they're still present. They're still an everyday thing that I like navigate. I haven't been like having as many, I would say, as many paracetamol as I normally do, but it's just something that really causes me a lot of like, wish I could just get to the bottom of this. But yes, so that's why I have it in my jaw. It's sort of like a preventative thing, but also didn't realize how big my jaw was. So that was a moment. And now I'm like, do I need it all the time? I don't know. And then I also have it because I have a lazy eye. And I think some people think that I get the lazy eye because of Botox, but I actually get it when the Botox has worn off. I have a little bit of a lazy eye, I think, and I probably should have had one of those patches at school just to strengthen it. I don't think it's like a big thing. I think it maybe needed a bit of a workout when I was a kid, and it's not by any stretch of the imagination something that like causes me great concern. It's just like, if you can correct it, why not? And I also have an eyebrow that sort of sits a little bit lower that makes me always look like I'm giving like the people's not the people's elbow, the people's eyebrow. Is it the people's eyebrow? It was the people's elbow? I'm showing my wrestling knowledge here. Niche, or lack thereof. So I haven't had that for a while. There's that. And obviously changing my hair color has been a big impact, and genuinely I don't think I'll ever go back like blonde. I don't think I've ever been this happy with my colour. Well, I don't think I've been this happy for a long time, and I don't think that's down to the workmanship in any way, shape or form. I think it's just down to what I was asking for, just thinking that was what I needed, and it actually wasn't what I needed. I needed to sort of go back to my roots, and what I have is like a bit of sort of like highlights and a little bit of like dimension added, and then glosses put over the top to bring that like richness and warmth. And I just love it because my hair always looks so shiny. And then obviously, aside from the Botox and the hair, I have also had braces. I'm still having braces. My brace is staring at me thinking, hey Lydia, you need to put me in your mouth, because I've taken it out to brush my teeth this morning. But I have been having braces for the last few weeks, and I think I've seen such a great improvement in a short space of time. I didn't have a huge amount to do. Mainly, I've talked about this before, mainly I wanted to push this tooth here back in, and it's getting there. We're on the home stretch. It's still not quite there. I definitely am still seeing that I have this like chunkier bit here that kind of covers the tooth a little bit when I'm talking, but not quite so much. It's definitely made such a huge improvement. I'm having my like teeth journey under the watchful eye of Dr. Sam Jethwa and Lydia as well. Lydia is like doing my Invisalign, and the reason why I was doing this, because I said it to you, I was like looking in the mirror and I was thinking, God, that is getting so much worse. This tooth is also like, I used to call it my snaggle tooth. It had like rotated. We're trying really hard to like tuck that one back in as well. And then I also had a little bit of like, sort of on this, I think it was this side, my teeth kind of went inwards, so it looked like I didn't have any teeth at the back. So we're just kind of trying to like, just push things into place, if that makes sense, and not hit yourself in the face. So I'm probably, actually, I didn't really think about it. I've gone through so much changes over the last like few months in terms of how I look and like what, you know, I look like, and I probably should do an update. I haven't had any filler in my face for, I think it must, I mean, it's definitely before COVID. The filler that I have is in my nose. So I had a non-surgical rhinoplasty with Dr. Ayad. And I had it done just before my wedding. And then I had it done just afterwards. I think I had it done a further 2 times. And then I was just like, I'm gonna leave it and see what happens, because my body doesn't really seem to like dissolve the filler. Now I think on this side, from this angle, it maybe doesn't look its best. It probably needs like a little bit here, but I'd have to have it dissolved and have it all done again. And honestly, I just don't really care that much. On the whole, it looks good. I like it. And if I want to, I can go back to my old nose and nothing is permanent. And I think that the same goes with my teeth. I think at the moment, why is my cupboard open? I initially went to Dr. Sam Jethwa because we were talking about doing like veneers. He does these feather light veneers. We were talking about doing those, which you have to do Invisalign before anyway. We were talking about it, and the thing that I was worried about was just like messing with my actual teeth, and I really had to like question my gratitude and be like, I'm really grateful that I have teeth. Like that's the beginning of this. I'm really grateful that I have teeth. And so do I want to take away the wonderful teeth that I have? Maybe not right now. Like if I was to have a situation where maybe like I lost a tooth, or like I was, you know, needing something a bit more like invasive, then I would have, I think I would have done it. So I just wanted to like take things slow. And this is what I mean when I say about them being like really, just really accommodating, and they're allowing me to just go with what feels comfortable. So what we're doing is, instead of going with the understanding that we're going to do veneers or anything like that, we're just going to straighten my teeth and see how we're getting on. Because I was looking at people, like I was served a video of Keira Knightley, and I don't know if you've ever seen Keira Knightley's teeth, but I don't think she's had braces, and I don't think she's had, well, I definitely don't think she's had veneers. And she's Keira Knightley, and she's gorgeous and she's beautiful. And I was like, oh, I actually really admire that. And so it just gave me a different sort of perspective on changing my teeth so much. So at the moment, I'm really happy. Like even if I was just to stay here, I'd be so much happier. Like I feel like you can see at least all of my teeth, which is fantastic. Yes, so that's what I've done. Had my hair coloured, got a fringe, Botox is wearing off, haven't had any filler done, actually haven't had a facial in a very long time, and got braces. So that's what I've had done. The style that I use for my hair at the moment, which I think is arguably why my hair is looking so healthy at the moment, not just the fact that obviously now I am not bleaching my hair to the point where it was. Now I am a brunette. I also had layers cut into my hair, so I go and see Michael Van Clark and I have my hair cut with him. Imi does my colour, and Imi is like just so patient with me. And then I go to Michael Van Clark to have my hair cut. I'm going to be very interested to hear what he has to say about my fringe. And whether he's going to tell me like, Lydia, that was the silliest thing you've ever done, because he's gonna have to like sort it out, but you know, never mind. And I had these layers cut in, and what it does is it makes like styling my hair so much easier, because I can add like flicky bits and I can add little sort of turns and things, because for a long time I was doing those like tonged curls, and honestly now I look back, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture to put in. I look back at my hair and I'm like, oh my god, Lydia, what do you look like? My hair almost looks like it doesn't move, and it's just like, oh, it was a lot. And now I feel like it looks, I don't know, a little bit less pageant hair and a little bit more like, I don't know, good head of hair, can I say that? That you just got a good head of hair and it just does what you want it to do, but looks effortless but really isn't effortless. Well, that's where I'm at the moment, and I probably need to brush it through because it has been up all night like this. But basically I will do my over the hill method with my straighteners and get lots of volume at the root and lots of flicky bits around the ends of my hair, and then when I go to bed at night or whenever I want my hair off my face, I literally just go underneath my hair with my hands like this. This probably seems really technical, but it's not. But I just, hands like this, and I just go up like that so that it's not too perfect, like so, and I just pop it back. Keep a little bit of fringy fringe out at the front, you know, because you don't want to, I don't want to look like an egg. And I just twist it loosely. So this is not like a tight bun, this is like a really sort of loose. So I probably do like 3 twists, and then I just wrap it round like a little bun. I don't try and keep it tight. It really is just something that's supposed to feel quite soft. And then I grab a claw clip. Now, I do this because I can't do a French twist. It looks ridiculous on me. My hair is so thick, it makes me look like a Klingon. And so I do this style because I can't do a French twist. But now I'm seeing lots of girly whirlies doing this, and it kind of, I think, looks really lovely too. It's still got that effortless vibe, but the clip just goes on the side at the end. And if I get little bits like this that stick out, I just poke them in, you know? Just tuck them into bed underneath the hair. And sometimes it'll look better than others, you know, but it's not supposed to be perfect. It's just this effortless thing, and you put it up on your head, and in the morning you just let it out and you have a bit more body to your hair. So that's how I do it. That is basically it. And I genuinely think that this has had the biggest impact on, like, aside from the colour, like the health of my hair, because I literally never touch it now during the week, and I don't do anything unless I'm going somewhere fancy, you know, like the Glamour Women of the Year Awards, which I washed my hair and styled it, and it took me 8 hours to get ready. Unless I'm doing that, I just don't do anything with it, and I'll often have it back like this. So anyway, that's my update on why I look different. It's very different from the why I look different videos that I used to make, where I was like, I've had this done, and I've had this done, and I've had this done. It's sort of like a, it's nice to be having like a bit of a change of a look in my late 30s, but it to be for different reasons, like impulsively cutting a fringe and things like that, and also just straightening your teeth and it finally working. I think that's the other thing, is that it's finally worked. I think I've really struggled over the years with it, and people were like, Lydia, you can't do this again. But I think sometimes it's like relationships and boyfriends. You've just got to find the people that get you. I think I've found my people when it comes to my teeth, and I feel very happy with them. So yes. Any of the people that I've talked about, or procedures or whatever that I've talked about, I'll link in the description box as well. I've also just got a parcel because I am stood here, and this jumper, if you didn't buy this Holland Cooper jumper, I think it is in stock, by the way, this has probably been my most worn jumper since it arrived. It is so beautiful. The Holland Cooper knitwear has come on like leaps and bounds, and this by far is my favorite because it's that rich, deep chocolate that could be black, but it's like a soft black, but it's not a black, it's a chocolate. I love it, and especially if you're on your brunette girly whirly journey, it looks great. I'll link this down below, but I've also had a delivery from Holland Cooper this morning, and I wanted to show you a few little bits of styling that I've been doing recently, and I feel like I've got lots to talk about, to be honest with you. I'm planning Christmas, I'm planning some like career changes, we'll talk about it. My mind has been going 100 miles an hour all night, so let's crack on. It really is the most autumnal day today. The sun is shining, but all you can hear is the howling wind. It's very, very, very cozy, but I thought I'd show you how I've been wearing this jumper the most. As you can see, the most simple outfit, like with a pair of jeans like this, I just love it so much. And then cute little flats. It's perfect for, like, you know, jeans and a nice top, that sort of vibe, but it's like jeans and a cozy top because you're a cozy girl and not a fancy girl. And this is genuinely how I wear it most days. I don't really tend to sort of overthink it, just cozy jumper on. I'll usually have some kind of sleeve thing to hold the sleeves up because they have these beautiful loose sleeves which look very, very lovely down, but I always love a little bit of wrist, you know what I mean. And so this is pretty much the day-to-day vibe when I wear it. I'd probably go for more of like an oatmeal coat over the top if I was gonna style it up, because chocolate oatmeal in between of the white, you know, that's how it goes. So yeah, popped it on with some jeans, some little ballet flats, perfect for kicking off and putting your outdoor shoes on when you go out to do the chickens and things like that. So yes, now I've got a box that's arrived. It's more knitwear. So a box arrived this morning, and these are just a few little bits that I requested from the new in Holland Cooper stuff, because they are doing the loveliest pieces at the moment. And I have to get my hands on them because, as you know, not just am I a Holland Cooper girly whirly in terms of working with them, or a Holland Cooper girly whirly that has a collection with them, I'm also a Holland Cooper customer. So I love their bits. And these country knitwear pieces, I had to get my hands on. This with like a t-shirt underneath or a roll neck with the half zip undone. That is going to be very much a Lydia Millen vibe. I love these kinds of half zips layered under blazers as well. I love the casual element that they give. They come in this beautiful green, and this is like a really good taupey colour. So did you see when like, if I was to have a coat with this that had more of like an oatmeal-y vibe, it would be the perfect in-between shade of the two shades that I'm wearing. But this is one of their country half zips as well. I love this like soft Alcantara edging to the zip, and they are so soft, I cannot put it into words. Lovely to wear undone, and even with a collar and like a shirt underneath, such a gorgeous, very, very typical English country vibe. And in fact, it was only half zips that I got, okay, but I had to get all of them because I absolutely loved them. When I saw this one, you know that I am going to be styling this up very, very soon. And the little heraldic HC in chocolate is so pretty. This has a little bit more of like a cable knit vibe as well, but I cannot tell you how soft the Holland Cooper knitwear pieces are, and they're so easy to style. Some of them come without the gold. I know some people don't want the gold buttons, so the first two jumpers don't have gold buttons. The third one, sorry, does. But I thought I could style up a few outfits as well. So those are the new in bits that I've received from Holland Cooper, but I wanted to show you more of the styling options of my collection with Holland Cooper as well, especially the scarves. I think I have some fun bits and pieces to do with the scarves, because particularly there's like a navy option of the Atlas scarf, and I think now that it's autumn winter, that is going to work so beautifully as a really statement like addition. Now I wanted to show you how I have been styling the Atlas scarf in the navy shade, because I feel like, first of all, this didn't get the moment that it deserved in the campaign imagery, but also I genuinely feel like a silk scarf is the unsung hero of an elegant wardrobe. And when I say elegant wardrobe, I don't mean it in like the stuffy sense. I mean it in like when you just really love dressing beautifully in a way that makes you feel wonderful. That's what I mean. And I think that that's elegant. So we're trying to go for a little bit less Lord of the Manor chic. And I know you will be devastated to hear, but I think on a day-to-day basis, a silk scarf can literally make an outfit and make it look insufferably detailed and considered, and yet you haven't really done much. So this is the navy option of the Atlas scarf, and I have literally tied this around the cozy neck of my Holland Cooper jumper, and it just instantly gives a different feel. And I think sometimes, I don't know if it's just me, but when you're watching like the scarf video tutorials on like TikTok and stuff, I'm like, how did you just do that? I can't even. So this is a really easy one, but what I would say from my personal experience is I always think it looks lovelier if you've cut off any of the labels. And the good thing about the scarves that we've done is they have a very, very small amount of tacks, so you can just snip them. The world's most versatile scissors. They cut fringes, they cut little tacks in your scarf, and you just cut it off. Me personally, I don't like to see these labels. I think they're just there for helping you with caring for your scarf, but for me personally, I want to take them off as soon as I get the scarf, just so I can use it to the best of its ability, if that makes sense. So you just snip it off very, very gently, very carefully. You do not want to snip the silk, just the threads. Voila. Say bye-bye to the label. And now I'm going to show you how I did this, because this is literally one of the easiest ones that I think that I found. And just paired with, I'm trying to stand back because it's so sunny today, just paired with the outfit that I showed you earlier, a pair of white jeans, a really lovely scarf, I think that this is absolutely gorgeous. So I'll show you how I did it. So you'll see when I undo it, there's just a little one knot there. You can obviously do it up so that it stays more secure, but if I undo that like that, you can see under there, this has been thread round the back, and it is literally this. So you fold your Atlas scarf in half, and you should have 2 points. It's almost like a triangle shape, and you take it like this, and you wrap it round your head, like so. I like to have a good amount on the scarf. You then pull it across, wrap the scarf over, like so, and you give it a little zhuzh. I always try to get the little pin bit to sit. Oh, we've done it differently this time. Yeah, so we pull it around like that, because I want it to have these little points together on one side, so you get all of the colours of the scarf, and you've got the little atlases running around, and then you can just tie it at the side like so, zhuzh it to your requirements. And that is the kind of vibe that you're going for. You're wanting to add a little bit of intrigue. It doesn't look too done, and it doesn't look too sort of in your face. It definitely doesn't look Lord of the Manor. It gives a sort of Parisian vibe, and I think this is absolutely beautiful as a sort of, I want to put a little bit more of an accessory and a bit of detail into my outfit. Styling wise, this is absolute heaven to me, because it doesn't look like you're kind of in fancy dress. It looks like you're actually using your scarf as something that's a bit more functional, alongside the chocolate jumper, a good pair of jeans, a good pair of boots, and a trusty wax jacket. This is it for me. This is how you style a silk scarf and make it look intentional and not like cosplay. I know when I look back, I'm like, okay, Lydia, maybe it was a little bit cosplay, but you know, we were having fun, and that's what matters. You know, now we're learning different things and different ways to style things, and it's so much fun. But I will link the Atlas scarf in the navy shade in the description box down below. I'll also link my jumper as well. But I love the way, because this is the thing with scarves, they usually have so many different colours in them as well. So linking them to other colours in your outfit. And this seems like it's almost a bit bright when you pop it on with a neutral wardrobe. But the moment you see it next to something like a mahogany clutch, it is the most complementary shade, and it really riches up the tones and stops it looking like you're in camouflage in those more earthy tones. It just gives it that little spice, that little warmth that it pops in. But I will link this down below, and I'm going to style it up another way as well, because there are so many ways, and I think that you'll see the versatility of a beautiful silk scarf just in a few ways. This is definitely the most subtle way to style your scarf. I love how it sort of looks a little bit like a collar, and it provides like that protection from a sort of wintry autumn chill as well. This is why I love a silk scarf, because it can be intentional, it can also be very, very functional, and it can also be very, very beautiful. And so just having this tucked like a collar like this feels modern, doesn't feel too Princess Anne, but still adds that regal touch, which is what we wanted to do with the scarves. And this outfit in particular is one of those ones where it feels very, very elegant and classic, but still having a lot of details to it, like with the scarf that just adds a bit of intrigue. And then you've got those warmer tones, you've got the buckingham belt alongside a really, really lovely warm clutch, and just some really relaxed trousers. And this is also a Holland Cooper crew neck jumper, which again, these are so soft. Really, really beautiful heraldic, subtle branding detail to the chest pocket. Easy to throw on a sort of full length coat over the top as well, but still feels really elegant. I find, and I've not done it with this particular outfit, is if you've got a longer scarf like this, and also you can wear it like this too, tucking it into your vest, because I don't believe, if any of you say you don't wear vests, I don't believe you. Tucking it in, because then you don't see it so much underneath, and it keeps it in place as well, and you don't see it coming through on your lighter toned clothing, whether that's a shirt, a blouse, that kind of thing, or a lovely crew neck jumper like this. So I'll link this down below, but there's another way with this outfit that I love as well. This is one of my all-time favorites. Don't ask me how I do it. Honestly, just look up scarf styles, because it is so gorgeous and it adds such a lovely touch, especially when you love an ivory outfit in the colder months like I do. Like a jumper like this, the Holland Cooper jumper with some really lovely trousers. This just adds another little touch. Gold earrings, warm accessories. You could put like a chocolatey coat over the top as well if you wanted to. What I love is that it looks like a corsage, but it doesn't look dated. I think that's the key to styling scarves. But this is just exquisite for adding a touch of something really, really elevated, because essentially I'm just wearing a crew neck jumper and some nice trousers, and this is all that's adding the detail that you want. It is so versatile. So I had to show you a few ways that I love to style my scarf, especially if I'm wanting to inject a bit of personality, which I think scarves are so good for doing. Oh! Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, enough of the Atlas scarf. We're going to go and see the main man himself a little bit later. Whether we're going to ride or not, I don't know, because it is very, 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 very blustery out there, but we shall see. This outfit was my favourite outfit from Ballyfin, and I didn't get a single picture other than, I think I'm brushing my teeth and Carrie took like a friendship pic. I'll insert that picture. I think I was brushing my teeth. I can't remember what I was doing, but we were in the bathroom. And I was so sad not to get a picture in this, but it just didn't really have the moment. And that is neither a bad thing nor a good thing, because it means that I get the next opportunity to get some really good pictures in this. And with this being those like autumny hues, there are going to be so many good occasions. I've actually got some fabric of my tweed, which I'm going to have made into a pillbox hat, which I'm so excited about. And do you know what I want to get? I want to get a mock neck, almost like short sleeve, tightly fitted, either ivory, taupe or chocolate, that I can wear the knit like this as well over the top. I really love how this looks, and this is, like I said in my previous video, totally inspired by the way that Jade wore it with the jumper, which I'm going to pop on with you now as well, show you how she styled it. But she did a different belt. These are the Buckingham belts worn together, so it's not like a third belt. Basically, I've got both sizes, and I wear the smaller one on top, and then I wear the thicker one below, and I pop it over the blouse. And then this is the Ainho skirt, which is just a work of art, and I wanted it to feel traditional but modern, and I really feel like we've achieved that. This is such an exquisite piece, and the movement in it is so stunning. The way that it hangs, the way that you can just, you know, do your thing. This was honestly my favourite outfit of the whole trip, and I cannot wait to wear this again, and I cannot wait to get a pillbox hat made in my fabric. You have no idea. And this is it styled with the jumper that Jade styled it with, that honestly set off a like firework display of inspiration when she wore it like this. Now, she had the Holland Cooper like emblem belt, which I thought was stunning. But obviously the Buckingham belt for me is super special. And this is so cozy. I popped it with some really lovely chocolate brown boots that are very, very comfortable. And this is one of those outfits that you can just wear like a bit more casually. Like I would totally wear this into London with a coat over the top, and I would feel very, very Lydia Millen-esque. But if you wanted to give it a bit more elevation, like if you're really going for your country wardrobe, then the Aynho blazer over the top is an absolute no-brainer. This is so warm and yet still feels so beautiful. Imagine this if you're going to like an autumn-winter race day. This would be so perfect. You could go for a hat as well, but also wearing it to things like carol concerts and festive events, because underneath here is so warm and toasty because it's made from wool. But if you did need another layer, you can fit your thermals underneath here very, very easily and nobody would know. But I love it worn like this as well. This feels like your girlie going to the office, but she's a country queen at heart, and that is the dream, in my opinion. But yes, those are the pieces styled up alongside some more Holland Cooper pieces, but I really wanted to show you the Atlas scarf, just styled in the way that I would love to style it in terms of like elevating outfits. Honestly, if just one silk scarf in your wardrobe is essential, in my opinion. And the navy, I am so shocked, because I really thought that the navy was going to be the one that like sold out first, and it was the sage. And I love how all of you have styled it, and I don't know how I didn't see that, but like the navy for me is that real, like, it's got more of a preppy vibe to it, so it's perfect for wearing with those like blues, ivories, that kind of thing. Whereas the sage is totally like, I think with this outfit would look chef's kiss. But I'll link it all down below. I'm sorry, I had to show you the greatcoat. This was one of my most worn coats last year, but now it comes in chocolate and with the more understated buttons. So with things like the belt having a little bit more detail and the jumper, it feels really, really good to have the structure and detail of the greatcoat styled alongside those when it's a little bit more understated, because I think if we had like the gold buttons, it would probably be a lot. But for me, this is so lovely. Imagine this with my pillbox hat in my tweed. This is such an effortless, it's not effortless, that is a lie, it's not effortless, but it is lovely. Sometimes I find myself saying words over and over again that I think that they lose their meaning, and I have to stop doing that. This is a really lovely elevated but still warm and cozy outfit. Okay, I mean that. I'll link the coat down below. Remember to cut your coat tails, ladies. I'm still seeing so many ladies walking around the streets with their coat tails pinned. There's a little cross stitch on the vent of your coat. It's not there as a design detail. It is there for when your coat is packed, it keeps it nice and flat. You are supposed to cut that stitch. So please, cut that stitch. Everything's linked below. Okay, I had to show you before I left, because these Holland Cooper leggings are the best Holland Cooper sort of legging breeches that I have ever had. They're the best riding leggings I've ever had, not just from Holland Cooper. I struggle so much to get leggings that look nice and fit nice. And these are the most comfortable of them all, because these are literally leggings, but they've got the belt loops like breeches, so I can put a belt with them so that it holds them up. It's got the fullest, stickiest seat I have ever had. The colour is exquisite. Holland Cooper, please, can we get these in a fleecy lined one for winter? Because, and can we get them in more colours? I want burgundy, I want chocolate, I want it all. These are the best by far, like the best, the best, the best. I've styled it with one of the new half zips as well. I put a little roll neck underneath just for extra layers, and then I put this over the top because if I need more coziness, it's there and available to me whenever I want it. I think I'm going to wear my Solaris boots today. These have been boots that I'm like attempting to break in, and I think I'm almost there, because my boots that I have at the stables, they're lovely and soft, but they don't fit me properly. They are not high enough on my legs, they're not supportive enough, and so I really have been trying my hardest to break these in. It's just because I've got quite thick ankles, and so I've been sitting with my toes on the edge of the step and just sinking my heels down. But I think we're pretty much there, and I'll be able to wear these to the stables tonight. I don't know if I'm going to ride, but you never know. But I had to tell you about these because they are so flattering, and they've got pockets. This is the most convenient pocket ever because I can put my phone in there and just slide it out, and it is so easy. But we're going to go and see him and just give him some love, and then see if he fancies a ride today, because, you know, I'd love to take him for a ride. It's a sunny Saturday. Oh gosh, I've got all of the layers on. I'm quickly going to feed my sourdough starters because I intend to make bread, and I have sourdough starters coming out of my ears, and it gives me an opportunity to talk to you about what I'm thinking. So, as always, Lydia Millen is ever evolving. She doesn't like to stay the same, and she doesn't like to be too stagnant, and she doesn't like to be complacent. She doesn't like to be ungrateful and all of those kinds of things. But one of the things, and I think this has been since we moved house, and it's been something that I've talked about a lot, is wanting to be at home more and wanting to centre myself and my content at home a little bit more. And the thing is that I have all of these ideas. I want to tell you what I do every weekend when I'm like having a quiet weekend at home, and I'm sitting on the sofa with a glass of wine and a good book and classical music tinkling in the background. This is what I do. I sit down and I have all of these incredible ideas to create content, the content that I want to see, and I never do it. For a multitude of reasons, but mostly because I overthink it, and mostly because, and I don't usually do this, you know what I'm like. I am someone that will like try something if it doesn't work. But this particular thing that I've been thinking about doing for God knows how long, get rid of my starter, hold on. This particular thing is from another world, not a world that I was necessarily born into, and it's like one of those things that I know, having just gone through it with like my style changes and like gardening and all of that kind of stuff, it will be met with more ferocity and more upset from people. But I don't like to stop doing things because people don't like it. I like to listen to myself, but I just have to be doing it in a way that I feel comfortable. And I've realised that I will never do it if I keep doing what I'm doing. And so I've brainstormed 3 videos that I would like to create, and I think that they are videos that I will be able to create over and over again, seasonally, which I think is really lovely. I think that they're videos that will be helpful, not self-indulgent. Like, I really want to ensure that the videos I'm creating aren't just like, oh, look at me and look where I live kind of thing. I want them to be helpful and inspirational, but also not overwhelming. I'll get to the point. One of the things that I have noticed, and I think I might have mentioned this before on my channel, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that I see a lot of people doing things that I am so inspired to do. And I've come across a lot of people who I'm incredibly like inspired by the way that they live, whether it's how they approach gardening or whether it's someone else and how they approach homemaking and cooking from scratch and that kind of thing. But what I've realized is everyone that I've come across is either a professional chef, a professional gardener, or a stay-at-home homemaker. And so every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, there is just no way. But I want a bit of it. I work full-time and my job takes me away a lot. I am often, you know, I design with a lot of brands. I design with Lily Silk, I design with Holland Cooper, I design with Fairfax and Favour, I'm working on edits with Sinead Keary, I'm working on edits with Frasers. I am constantly doing things, and also there are other things that I'm working on, not to mention writing a book, not to mention designing a whole new collection that I've never done before, not to mention working on a product. Honestly, it's wild. But I want to do these things because I am a homemaker, but I'm not a homemaker in the traditional sense. I'm like a modern day homemaker. I love making my home lovely. I love looking after my home. I don't have enough time to dedicate to it that I would like, and I want to put that into a series of content on here. I want to do the content on TikTok and Instagram as well, but I want it to be like manageable for the person who's got a full-time job or a full-on life. And so I've come up with this concept just because I'm really passionate about this and I know I'm going to execute it, and I'll wonder why I ever didn't do it before. But first of all, I'm nervous. Second of all, upkeeping it when I'm taken away from my home so much worries me. And so I want to do a little bit more planning over the weekend, and I need a little bit more like time at home. Anyway, it's basically, the concept is carving out half an hour of your day every day, because sometimes it's not that you don't have time, it's that you're not making time. And I definitely am not making time for these things where I could. And I want it to be things like 3 things that you can eat throughout the week, that you can make from scratch in half an hour. I want it to be a home reset. So like the best way to make your home feel like it's had a bit of a clean and a bit of a refresh. I want to do organisation videos, and these are all things that I don't have enough time to do in my own life, but I want to start making time for, and also making it easier for the women who want to do things that fill up their cup but don't necessarily always have oodles of time. And I'm not saying that anybody else has oodles of time. What I'm saying is that it is hard when you've got a full-time job to maintain a wonderful home. And I definitely struggle with that. And there are times like right now when I'm looking around going, you're about to go to the stables, but you really should be homemaking your home into something a little bit better, Lydia, rather than feeding your sourdough. I want to get to that. That's what I want to do, like morning routine, nutritious meal from scratch, that kind of thing. Because if I don't make the content, I won't ever have the opportunity to create that kind of content with brands. And so that's where I'm at. I really hope that me putting this out there in the world to you now means that I have filmed it, or filmed something, or at least started. And if not, it's still in the works. But I've done this every weekend for like the past year, where I'm like, I really want to start making content like this, but this, that, and the other stops me, and I don't have enough time, and this, that, and the other, and it's like, if I don't ever start, I'm going to regret it. Exactly like when I pivoted all my content. If I was still doing the content that I was doing previously, I would be miserable. And so I know that this is something that I want to do, and I have to do, and I want to really make it more of a focus, but I just have to, you know, bite the bullet, stop being so scared, all of that kind of stuff, and also make the time. Make the time, Lydia, make the time. Get up earlier, it's half an hour, get ready earlier. And the other thing is not being on my phone so much, even though it's very difficult, and it's easy for someone who maybe doesn't have it as their sort of main job to say, oh, just get off your phone. But like, it is difficult to not spend time on your phone when it is where your job happens all the time and you love your job. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm brain farting with you. 1 sourdough starter. I can't wait to not be looking after 3 sourdough starters, but I'm so scared that I'm going to lose one that I'm now like militant about it. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's what I want to be doing, and that's where I want to be moving next. So you can't be shocked when I do it, because I will. I know I will. And I think it will be really good, and I think it will be helpful, and I think it will be the thing that like helps people that maybe feel like that life is out of reach to them, because it definitely feels like it's out of reach to me. I'm not able to spend my whole day like organising and what have you, you know, doing the washing and doing all of the things that I want to be doing. I'm just not able to do that. And it's not that I want to be doing the washing, but like cooking nutritious meals, doing all of those kinds of things, I'm exhausted by the end of the day. And so I want to find ways in which I can make that easier and more possible. So that's my thoughts. These are messy jars now. I need to give them a bit of a clean. Oh my gosh. I know, you don't like it. Good morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, it is the most beautiful, beautiful autumnal day today. The sun is shining. All of the trees have now turned, except for these ones because they're Christmas trees. And I am heading back to the stables because I left you with me and Atlas in the stable. I got him ready to ride. We got out riding. I don't think he really wanted to either. I think he probably knew that the weather was gonna turn. I made one lap around the field, had a quick canter, and then we were speed trotting back to the stables because we were both getting very, very soggy. Today is the day that all of the horses are like brought in at my livery yard, and I've got a lot of bits and pieces to go and buy for him to get him settled. He goes on to shavings, which I also need to pick up shavings for the chickens as well. I need to pick up a few tools as well because obviously he's going to be moving, and it's just errands to be run on a Saturday. Ali gets back today, which is obviously exciting too, and it's also Barky's birthday. Oh, there's loads of little fezzies. Would you believe it if I told you that Barky turns 4 today? I cannot believe that Barkley is 4 and Porter is going to be 5 in a matter of days as well. It makes me feel so weird to think that they are like that old now. They're like eternal puppies to me. I can't get my head around it. I've got a lot to do today though. I've got to muck out Atlas's stable and remake his bed for his first night in there. Next week he is moving to his new paddock and potentially his new stable, so there's lots of things to do with that as well. I also need to finalise my Christmas decor, and I find this absolutely hilarious because obviously I've been doing tartan decor for a good few years, and then this year it is all about Ralph Lauren Christmas, and I am, in all honesty, I'm not really going to be changing my decorations too much. I don't really tend to buy decorations as such, and now I try my best to use like natural bits and pieces as much as possible. So I'm going to have a little brainstorm, a little think about what I'd like to do as usual. Lots of natural materials, lots of all of the stuff that makes me feel Christmassy but doesn't look too plasticky or anything like that, and send that over to Gemma to get that sorted, which is good. And we also need to have a chat about what to expect from me Christmas wise, and also next year. That is another thing that we need to have a little chat about. So I'm gonna head to the stables, tick some things off my to-do list. I do want to try and get to Waitrose as well before it closes because it is a Sunday, and I will see you guys when we get to the stables. Hopefully you enjoy watching me muck out. Good fun. You're joking me.
I've been saving that up especially.
Atlas! Oh my god!
Especially feels so comfortable.
I am devastated. Good boy.
Can we or a poo?
A massive poo.
I can hear it from here.
Yeah. Absolutely atrocious. You are redonkulous. Oh, lovely muddy tummy. Muddy's tummy and Adam. Oh yeah. This is nice. Now I can sit here with you like this. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Right, let's get back to you little sausage dogs. Love you. Good boy. Good boy. Oh yes, mummy kisses. What a day. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's getting dark outside. That took me forever. I smell of wee, so I'm going to get myself in the shower. I'm going to change my clothes because even though I'm wearing this very, very lovely Holland Cooper burgundy half zip, which I haven't worn before, and honestly, I'm gonna wear it more often, but I've done the chickens. I've just topped up their bedding so that they're a little bit warmer tonight. I need to zhuzh the house, get some food on. I also want to make my granola for the week. That is one thing that I would suggest. If you're looking to make, I'm not going to talk to you about this, I smell of wee. Well, I feel like a new woman. Please tell me I am not the only person that coming home from the stables and getting your face clean. Oh my gosh, I smell of magnesium body butter. I've got a face oil on, I've got a moisturizer on, and I am free of dust. I feel incredible. There is a playlist on. I have lit the candles. Ali is on his way back from the airport and I am on dinner duty. So I think I'm gonna prep the dinner. I'm just gonna do tuna, sweet potatoes and some green veg, just so we're getting a nice amount of you know, everything. And then I think I'm gonna make myself my granola. And I would say that this is one of those things that you can make so quickly. And if you're someone that's trying to consume less like ultra processed and just more whole foods, but also want to experience how fulfilling it is to prepare something exactly to your tastes and exactly to your preferences and then consume it through the week. Oh my gosh, this is how to do it. And also, if you're looking to seed cycle, it is a great way. You can almost have 2 batches of granola and you can do one with the seeds for the first cycle and one for the seeds for the second cycle, and you just add it to some yogurt. So that I always like to do like a really thick, full fat kind of yogurt so that I'm getting as much protein as possible. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. There's a wash on. I need to do the dishwasher. It is just such a lovely homey day. I've had the homiest weekend. I haven't even had any wine. I've not felt like I needed to. I've just been prepping my home and it feels delicious. Right, oven, let's get you on and heating up. The fire is lit. I even organised all my new oven trays that I got from Wayfair. I literally organised everything and it feels sensational. Okay, so I have set myself half an hour, which is probably going to be ample time, but what I'm going to do is whilst this is roasting in the oven, I am going to spritz the bathrooms and the sinks ready for Ali to get home. So I'm going to select my nuts for this. I'm also going to see if I can double the mixture. We need 200 grams of dates, if that's what we're going to do. We need 600 grams of rolled oats, 160 grams of mixed seeds. So we are going to go pumpkin, and then I will add the flaxseed later on. Chia seeds, sesame seeds, nuts, a lot of nuts. Ooh, we are going all out today. So first things first, 200 grams of nuts. And the good thing about this is it doesn't really matter what you do in terms of like ratios and things like that. It's just everything is to your preference. 600 grams of rolled oats. 160 grams of mixed seeds. This is going to be a lot. Oops. 200 grams of dates. Let's put all of this away. Okay, I always use dates instead of raisins because I don't really like raisins. And these are, as I have found, the best dates. I cannot tell you what doing this and eating like this and preparing things like this does for me, like in a fulfillment sense. Not just is it like putting good things in my body, because honestly, if you can, that is the best self-care. Not the face masks and the bubble baths and the things like that. It's the putting the good things in your body. And I'm listening to an amazing book at the moment. I did start listening to Outlived, but I feel like I need to be in a different headspace to listen to that, because it's very, very, very high tech. So I started listening to The Power Is In You by Louise Hay. I don't think it was on Audible. I'm pretty sure that I got the recommendation from Bryony Deary. I think she spoke about it either on a podcast or she put it on her stories or something like that. And it wasn't available on Audible, and so I like put it as a reminder, and now it's on there, and I literally downloaded it straight away. And it is incredible, and I'm only a short way through. In fact, as soon as I have a moment, I will continue to listen, because it is such a great book on understanding your thoughts and your mind. And I'd say, other than food, bothering to understand like your thoughts and how you are in control of them is probably the best form of self-care. Because I always say, and I say this to my friends, but like, I want you to be selfish, but not selfish in the sense that we understand selfishness to be in like an everyday setting. What I've learned, and she explains this really good in the book, is if you love yourself, not pointing knives at yourself, Lydia, if you love yourself, it is so much easier to love others. And I know we've all heard the sayings that are like, you've got to love yourself before you learn to love someone else. It's like, I'm trying to love myself, but it is true. The world and life and all of the horrible things that are happening in this world, you are actually able to do better for them when you love yourself first. And when you do all of the things that make you perform as the best version of yourself. Like, I literally never feel like I can't be the best version of myself now that I know that I love myself. And I'm not saying that to gloat. That's not, I don't want it to sound like that. I want it to be like, it's taken me so long, and you guys will have watched me when I really, really didn't love myself and I really, really didn't trust myself. And now that I do, I think that you see the real, genuine happiness, not the happiness that comes on and tries to convince people, the real, genuine happiness. And it makes me a better friend. It makes me a better partner. I was going to say husband then. It makes me a better wife. It makes me a better boss. It makes me just a better human in general. Like, I love giving love. Like, this is the thing I say to people all the time. I love giving love. Like, my love is not reserved for only some people. I know when people want my love and when people don't, but they don't get a choice. And genuinely, like, I go into social settings where I used to go, oh my gosh, I feel so terrible about myself, everyone hates me. Now I'm like, I just can't wait to give everyone like a bit of love. So understanding that honestly will change your life and change your health. And I feel like this is a different approach to, what's that really good book that I could never listen to? The Secret. This is like the more practical, less fluffy approach to The Secret. It's such a great book. And aside from putting good food in your body, and also food that you've made yourself, if you can. I know not everyone can, and I hope I'm allowed to talk about this, because obviously, you know, I don't want to get myself into trouble by talking about things that some people can't do. But I genuinely mean it, that like, taking the time to give your body what it needs, and taking the time to understand your thoughts and your ability to choose them. It really is as simple as that. You're able to choose your thoughts, and therefore you start going about life going, if I can choose that thought, maybe I can choose that thought that I have around this one thing that's really been like upsetting me. Maybe I can change it. Maybe I can see it differently. And with learning how to think, like, my stress levels just dropped, and my worries around so many things that really didn't matter just kind of disappeared, and my health improved. You know, look at me, Lydia Millen, having not been ill yet. I don't even think I've been ill this year. Have I been ill this year? Maybe once? God, I used to have a degree in getting ill. So yeah, a little bit of nourishment, and this is like my nourishment, not the food itself, even though the food absolutely is nourishing, but this process of taking the time to prepare myself something that I love, and that I know what has gone into it, and this is just like, we must be you know, painful to watch me cut these dates. But it's especially to my preferences. I'm gonna sprinkle some bougie rose petals into it. And every day that I get to have a bowl of this granola this week, I'm gonna thank my lucky stars that I did that. I'm gonna be so chuffed with myself. I'm gonna think, God, I'm really glad I made myself that. I'm really glad that I set that time aside for something that I know is gonna pay dividends throughout the week. It might take a little bit of time on a Sunday, but you can enjoy the process. You can listen to your new book. You can chat to you guys and have a little heart to heart. You can plan your Christmas decor, although you can't really do that at the moment. But I can tell you about my plans for Christmas, because I've been thinking about this a lot, and you know, Christmas is a big deal to me. I love creating the sense of like family and home for Ali and I at Christmas time, and we enjoy going all out with Christmas and decorations and, you know, rituals and traditions and all of those kinds of things. And I've always shared that as part of my Vlogmas, and one of the things of my Vlogmas has always been my Christmas intro. When I started doing my Christmas intro, everyone kind of did those like illustration ones, and they were so beautiful, and I didn't have someone to do illustration intros, so I thought, well, why don't I just film one of all of the things that I love and the things that I know you love? And that's what I did. And I've really enjoyed doing them over the years, but I definitely think that last year felt a bit different when I did it. You know, when something runs its course, I definitely felt like, for me, it had run its course. First of all, I was settling into a life that I love, and there wasn't so many huge changes anymore. And the things that I love sort of stayed the same, and the house kind of stayed the same, and all of that kind of stuff. And so there was that. And then, as you'll know, I don't love anything that's like competitive. Does that make sense? Like, I am not motivated by competition with anyone, not even myself. I'm motivated by how things make me feel. And I know I told you this last year, but it felt a little bit like the John Lewis and Marks and Spencers and all of that kind of stuff, battle of the ads. And it just kind of didn't feel good to me anymore. And with that, me knowing that I'm not going to do my Christmas intro, I also took a long, hard look at Vlogmas. And at the grand old age of 37, I have decided, I mean, I feel like this is no change really, but in all honesty, I just won't be doing Vlogmas this year. I'm actually hoping to take as much time off, and I say this every year, as I possibly can over Christmas, and just do all of the things that I love to do, and spend time with family, and do all of that kind of stuff, and sleep and snooze on the sofa, because it has been a wild few months. Wowzers me. But don't get me wrong, it will still be Christmassy, and I'll still enjoy dressing my home with you and sharing all of the Christmassy things. There's definitely going to be less of an emphasis on gifts this year, and less of an emphasis on, you know, buying new stuff for decorating and all of that jazz. Instead, hopefully, it will be more about, you know, experiences. I think over the years, I fully appreciate that I was the problem, you know, needing bigger and better gifts and all of that kind of stuff. And now I find myself in a different stage of my life, a stage where everything feels like it's always changing and changing for the better. And all I can think about of the things that I was trying to think about the things that I want at the moment. And I said to Carrie, I was like, oh, I thought about what I want for Christmas. I want a silver toast holder, because now that I've got my butter dishes, I can just imagine how lovely it will be to have fresh sourdough toast on the table with my butters and my jams and all of that kind of stuff in lovely silverware. And then hand soaps, the Bertioli hand soaps. That's all I can think of that I want for Christmas this year. Okay, dried fruit going in. This is all going to go horribly, horribly wrong. I can see that I have done too much, and it's going to start. 240. Goodness me, lucky pup. don't know if that worked. I'm gonna put it in a bowl and give it a good old mix before I do anything, because I'm not convinced. Maybe overfilled the Thermomix a little bit. Just get your hands stuck in there. Whose idea was this, eh? Righty-ho. Once you've got it all mixed, as it should, you just pour it out onto your baking trays. Fan-dabby-dozy, they are going in the oven. Whilst that bakes, I'm going to prep everything else. Get some slits in these. Good to go. This is the indulgent part. A whole load of granola made, ready to go. And the thing that makes it feel super special, whilst I cook the dinner and look so greasy, I go into my dried rose petals. These smell as if you're walking through a field in grass. It is absolutely exquisite, and it really adds this like delicate, soft, powdery loveliness to the granola. I never thought I would like it, and now I do it all the time. So, and it also just makes it so beautiful. So if you want to make it into a gift, then you can. I know I've made this a few times on my channel, but I don't care. This makes me so bloomin' happy. Give it a little stir. And then you can either bag it up for gifts or pop it away for you. Welcome home! Smarty pants. Everyone would have thought you had divorced me.
Oh my god.
What?
The bin's full.
Yeah, you need to do the bins. Blue job. Blue job. I'm very good at getting things actually in the jars, am I? It's not my strong point. Now, because I have so much granola, this is one of my favourite things to do. We always have these little gift bags around, and they are so good for a really sturdy, like big packet of granola. So I'll cut the handles off and I'll fold it over and I'll pop a sticker on it, and that will keep my granola. Yeah. Uno. So lovely and simple. And what I like to do is fold it over like that. A little lunch bag going on. Such a cute way to gift it. This is how I gifted it to my dad when he wanted it. And then you can get a sticker. Now, because it's got honey from the bees in it, Mr. Crunchy next to me, I think I'll use this one. But we could, I haven't used the ivy one actually. We'll just use the ivy one because we're feeling impulsive.
I need some new nail clippers, mine broken on the way.
Oh, good God.
Do you have any nail clippers?
I do. I have navy nail clippers, and they are arguably the best. Now that is dinner cooked. We've got sweet potatoes, greens, tuna patties, and I've also just popped in a loaf into the oven as well. So it's been a bit of a cook up. Fresh granola made, dinner done, and a fresh loaf. It's not my best, but I didn't stick to the timings because I've been here, there and everywhere all weekend. But this will be our bread for the week ahead. Perfect.